At 3 in the morning, a Navy SEAL went off the back of a helicopter and landed on a mountain held by the enemy. He was alive when he hit the ground. There was a drone overhead, and it was recording. What that camera captured would be argued over for the next 20 years. His name was Neil Roberts, 32 years old. SEAL Team 6, the unit the military spent years pretending didn't exist. And on the night of March 3, 2002, he was flying toward a 10,000-foot peak called Takur Ghar on what was supposed to be a quiet reconnaissance mission. In the next 90 minutes, the decisions made, in the air, on the ground, and in command posts miles away, would cost 7 American lives. This is how the first one was lost. If you missed part 1, here's all you need to know. The intelligence said this mountain was empty. The intelligence was wrong. Roberts was part of a 6-man SEAL element called Mako 30. Their job was simple on paper. Get to the top of Takur Ghar before sunrise, set up an observation post, and watch the valley below where a much larger battle was already going badly. They'd fly in on an MH-47 Chinook from the 161st, the Night Stalkers. These are the best helicopter pilots on Earth. If anyone could drop a team on a frozen peak in the dark and slip away clean, it was them. But here's what the intelligence never told them. Al-Qaeda was already on that peak, dug in, fortified, and they'd spent hours watching American helicopters work that valley. They knew exactly how the Americans would come in, and they were waiting for it. Picture it. 3 in the morning, 10,000 feet up. The Chinook crests the peak, the ramp drops, and the entire mountain opens fire at once. Rocket-propelled grenades, a PKM machine gun, AK fire from 3 directions. The helicopter takes hits instantly. Rounds punch through the fuselage. Hydraulics begin failing. The pilot is fighting to keep the aircraft in the air. And in that chaos, in the violence of the aircraft lurching sideways off the peak, Neil Roberts goes off the open ramp. One moment he's on the helicopter, the next he's on the mountain, and the helicopter is gone. The crew had a choice no one should ever have to make. Stay over that peak and the aircraft crashes and everyone dies. Leave and a man is alone on a mountain full of enemy fighters. They had no choice at all. They left, and Roberts was on his own. Now here's the part the official record would spend years fighting over. There was a Predator drone overhead the whole time. Its camera was pointed straight down at that landing zone. It recorded everything. Roberts survived the fall. The footage shows him moving. Alone on a peak swarming with enemy fighters, he got up and he fought. For several minutes, outnumbered with no backup and no way off that mountain, he held on. And then the footage shows that he didn't. The drone was still recording when it ended. That tape would be reviewed frame by frame for the next 16 years. The moment the word went out, 1 man down on Takur Ghar, everything that followed was driven by a single instinct. Go back. Now. Fast. The rest of Mako 30 loaded onto a second helicopter, Razor 04, to go straight back to the peak and get him. Straight back to the same landing zone, the one the enemy already controlled. It was the fastest way to Roberts. It was also flying a second team directly into the ambush that had just taken the first one. At 3 in the morning, speed felt like the only thing that mattered. It wasn't. Razor 04 landed on the same LZ. The same guns were waiting. The SEALs fought their way off the peak, taking casualties as they went, and pulled back to a position lower on the mountain, wounded, pinned, calling for help. And among the men who fought their way off that peak was an Air Force combat controller named John Chapman. Remember that name. Every decision made in the next few hours would be investigated, written about, and argued over for the next 2 decades. What's not argued is the cost. By sunrise, 6 more Americans would be dead. Here's where this goes next. At first light, the Army sends Rangers to take that mountain. 2 helicopters, in daylight, into a position the enemy has now had hours to fortify and has already beaten back twice. They know we're coming. And John Chapman, the combat controller who just survived the Razor 04 fight, is going back up that mountain. What he does on that peak is the reason the U.S. military spent the next 16 years arguing about a single piece of drone footage. That's part 3, and it's the heart of this entire story. If you're watching this series in order, do not stop here. And if Roberts Ridge is a story you'd never heard until now, that's exactly why we're telling it. Subscribe so you're here for how it ends.